what she's capable of.
That woman has killed 13 people.
Protector presents an intense, action-driven story built around the themes of survival, family, and relentless determination. The narrative unfolds in a harsh and unforgiving world where criminal networks operate in the shadows and ordinary people often become victims of powerful forces they cannot control. At the center of the story is a woman who once lived a life shaped by discipline, courage, and military service. Her name is Nikki, a former soldier who spent years on the battlefield before deciding to leave that violent world behind in order to focus on raising her daughter and building a peaceful life. However, the past rarely stays buried forever, and the skills she tried to leave behind soon become the only tools capable of saving the person she loves most. Nikki's life after leaving the military appears calm on the surface. She attempts to create a normal environment where her daughter can grow up far away from the violence and chaos that once surrounded her career. Yet even as she tries to move forward, the memories of her past remain present. The discipline of military training never truly disappears, and the instincts that once helped her survive in dangerous situations continue to shape the way she sees the world. She understands how fragile peace can be and how quickly ordinary life can be. Shattered by unexpected events, that fear becomes reality when Nikki suddenly wakes up in a terrifying situation that changes everything. She finds herself trapped in an unfamiliar and abandoned industrial location, surrounded by signs that something terrible has happened. The confusion quickly turns into horror when she realizes that her daughter has been taken. The people responsible for the kidnapping belong to a hidden criminal network that operates through intimidation, violence, and manipulation. Their goal is unclear at first, but one fact becomes undeniable. Nikki's child has been dragged into a dangerous underworld where every second counts. For Nikki, the kidnapping represents more than just a crime. It becomes the worst nightmare a parent could ever face. The fear of losing her daughter awakens the fierce determination that once defined her as a soldier. She understands that waiting for help or relying on official authorities may not be enough. The people behind the kidnapping are experienced criminals who know how to disappear, manipulate evidence, and avoid justice. If Nikki wants any chance of saving her daughter, she must take control of the situation herself. This decision launches the story into a relentless race against time. Nikki begins tracking the criminals responsible for the kidnapping by using the instinct she developed during her years of military service. She navigates the dangerous criminal underworld step by step, gathering information, confronting enemies, and following every lead that could bring her closer to her daughter. The journey forces her to return to a life she once tried to escape, but now she has a purpose stronger than anything she faced before: the world Nikki enters is filled with people who operate outside the law. Smugglers, traffickers, mercenaries, and corrupt officials form a network where loyalty is rare and betrayal is common. Every person she encounters could either help her find the truth or lead her into a trap. The environment is unpredictable and violent, forcing Nikki to rely on both her intelligence and combat skills in order to survive. As the search intensifies, Nikki discovers that the kidnapping is connected to a much larger criminal operation. The organization behind the crime has influence across multiple regions and uses fear to maintain control. Their activities involve trafficking networks, illegal trading, and powerful figures who hide their involvement behind layers of secrecy. By targeting Nikki's daughter, they unknowingly awaken someone capable of disrupting their entire operation. Each step forward in Nikki's investigation leads to new dangers. Armed criminals attempt to silence her before she can get too close to the truth. Surveillance teams track her movements, and ambushes appear in places where she least expects them. Yet every attack only strengthens her resolve. The people who kidnapped her daughter underestimated the determination of a mother who has spent years surviving in environments far more brutal than anything they can create. The action sequences in the story reflect Nikki's transformation from a desperate parent into a relentless protector. Hand-to-hand combat, tactical escapes, and carefully planned confrontations become part of her journey as she fights through waves of enemies. Unlike many heroes who rely purely on brute strength, Nikki combines experience with strategy. She studies her opponents, analyzes their weaknesses, and strikes with precision whenever an opportunity appears while the action remains intense. The emotional core of the story continues to focus on the bond between Nikki and her daughter. Every risk she takes is driven by the memory of the life they shared before everything was taken away. Moments of reflection reveal how deeply she values the simple things that once defined their relationship: laughter, safety, and the promise of a future free from fear. These memories fuel Nikki's determination as she pushes deeper into the criminal network responsible for the kidnapping. She refuses to accept defeat even when the odds seem impossible. Every time the trail grows colder or the enemies become stronger, she reminds herself why she cannot stop. The mission is no longer just about justice. It is about reclaiming the life that criminals tried to steal from her family. As Nikki uncovers more information, she begins identifying the key figures behind the operation. Some are powerful leaders who believe their influence makes them untouchable. Others are loyal enforcers who carry out orders without question. Each confrontation brings Nikki closer to the heart of the organization, but it also increases the danger surrounding her mission. The tension rises as Nikki realizes that the criminals are preparing to move her daughter to a location where rescue may become impossible. Time becomes the most dangerous enemy she faces. Every moment lost could push the trail further away and place her daughter in greater danger. With no other option left, Nikki prepares for a final series of confrontations that will determine whether her mission succeeds or fails. The climax of the story becomes a test of everything Nikki has learned throughout her life. Her training, experience, and emotional strength come together as she faces the most powerful enemies in the criminal network. The battles are intense and personal, driven by the unstoppable force of a mother determined to protect her child. Throughout the story, the film explores deeper themes about resilience and the lengths people will go to protect those they love. Nikki's journey demonstrates how ordinary life can hide extraordinary strength. What begins as a desperate search for a kidnapped child gradually transforms into a powerful fight against corruption and exploitation. The narrative also highlights the emotional cost of violence. Nikki does not enjoy returning to the world of combat, but she understands that sometimes protecting the innocent requires confronting darkness directly. Each battle forces her to balance the instincts of a trained soldier with the compassion of a mother who wants nothing more than to bring her child home safely. By the time the story reaches its conclusion, Nikki's journey reveals a powerful message about courage and determination. Even when facing a powerful criminal empire, one person's refusal to give up can disrupt an entire system built on fear. Her mission proves that strength does not come only from weapons or training but from the unbreakable bond between a parent and a child. Protector ultimately stands as a story about sacrifice, resilience, and the unstoppable instinct to protect family. The film combines intense action with emotional depth, creating a narrative where every fight carries personal meaning. Nikki may have once left a battlefield behind, but when her daughter's life is threatened, she becomes the one force capable of confronting the darkness and bringing justice to those who believe they could never be stopped. Then.wikipedia.org